name is Tiffany. This is my breathwork class. This class is for you, for those of you who sit for long periods of time very frequently, those who struggle with anxiety and panic, those with respiratory disease, those who want to know themselves more deeply. Hi, let's get started. In class today, we are going to stretch the breath chamber. We are going to work on the Breathwave using a couple of different patterns. And then I'm going to talk about and show you some ways for breathing mechanics. So stretching, the Breathwave, mechanics, and then I'm going to give you a homework assignment to try. So let's get started. I have a chair here. You can do these exercises seated. You can do it standing, and you can actually do them in bed too. We're going to open up this chamber, the muscles that surround the lungs, so that you can expand and contract the lungs a little easier. When we sit a lot and when we are inactive for long periods of time, the body kind of becomes stiff and rigid. That's a lot of the reason why breathing will then become feeling as if it's stiff and rigid. So we got to open it up. Here's how we're going to do that. I want you to put your hands down like this. Now flip them out, palms out, and I want you to rotate those thumbs backward. While you're doing that, stretch those fingers and hands. Stretch, 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 and then opening this up here. I want you to hold that. We're going to hold it for about a minute. Okay? Stretching the hands, stretching those thumbs behind, opening this front area up here, this front chest area up, okay? If you find this difficult to sustain, you can let it go and then come right back to it, okay? Pointing those thumbs backwards, okay? You're not holding your breath, you're breathing gently. Two more breaths here. Okay. Next exercise. Seated in a chair, not in a puffy, smushy chair, something that's got a rigid bottom on it. What I'm going to have you do is you're going to follow your hand along the side of the legs of the chair, or you can do it standing and follow along the sides of your legs. Now, I'm going to have you put the opposite hand behind your head, if you can get that up here, if you don't have any shoulder issues, just so that you can get some stretch on this side. What you're going to do is you are going to inhale down as you move your hand alongside your leg or the leg of the chair. You're going to inhale down, and then you're going to exhale all the way up, totally and thoroughly emptying the lungs. Now you can do that with a pursed lip, or you can do that with the nose. I don't care. You're going to be able to do it for a longer period of time and probably feel a little bit deeper sensation if you use a pursed lip exhale, meaning a tiny little hole with your lips. But you can certainly exhale through the nose. So we're going to do about 3 or 4. Feel free to go your pace. Do not have to go my pace. Deep, slow inhale. Exhale. Coming up. Exhaling everything out. Inhaling, going a little bit deeper than you did before. Exhaling up. Now don't lean over, okay? So if you need to use the wall so that you can lean against it, so you don't end up leaning forward, do that. Let's do a couple of more. One more. Exhale all the way, all the air out. Empty the lungs. Let's go to the other side. I'm going to go back to the chair. Okay, switch your arm behind your head if you can get it back there. Here we go. Sliding that hand down a little bit further each time, getting more of a stretch here, exhaling up. Empty the lungs. Wherever you're at, do one more. When you do that exercise, don't let that hip come up, okay? You want to keep both hips on the ground. So you should feel a little bit more expansion here in the sides. And we're going to do kind of a riff on Tai Chi, but the purpose of this is to twist the spine a little bit, because your rib cage, which contains your lungs, okay, it attaches to the spine. The diaphragm, which is your primary muscle of breathing, is a disc-like muscle. It attaches to your ribs, comes all the way around, attaches to your spine. You want good spine mobility, so that's why we're doing this exercise. It's a very gentle exercise, much like Tai Chi is, okay, but it's very useful. What we're going to do is you're going to inhale with your hand coming up. You're going to exhale, following your hand, going to your comfort zone as you twist lightly. Again, inhale, exhale. Switch sides. One more. Arms forward, inhale. Let's go to the other side. Open up, exhale. Inhale forward, exhale, open up. Exhale all the way. Twisting, inhale. Last one, exhale, twisting, 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 exhaling everything out. Inhale, other hand, open to the other side. Exhale, open up, and twist. Inhale, twist and open. One more. All right. If you have a cup of water, a little bit of water and a straw, I'd like you to grab it, because this is our last stretch exercise. We're going to blow bubbles in here. The reason why we're doing this, similar reason as to why you would use a pursed lip exhale. When you have that small hole and you're exhaling through pursed lips, okay, there's resistance. It creates a back pressure in this pressure system of breathing. It opens up those little air sacs, okay, and allows oxygen longer time to diffuse against those between those membranes, so that you can oxygenate better, okay? When you're breathing or exhaling through a straw, it's a very similar thing as to exhaling through pursed lip. There's a little bit of resistance because of the straw and because of the water that you're blowing against. You don't need much water here. So you're going to inhale through the nose. Going as long as you can go, comfortably. Inhaling through the nose. And doing it again. We're going to do that for 90 seconds. The more you can empty out your lungs on the exhale, the deeper and bigger that inhale will be on the rebound. But you just exhale and blow bubbles as long as you can comfortably go. Do 2 more rounds. Nice. So by exhaling and blowing and blowing and blowing those bubbles until you can't blow any more bubbles, you've emptied your lungs. You've really you've really squeezed the air out. Then you have more room to really fill the lungs in the deeper parts of the lungs, okay? That's what this exercise does. Expands, contracts, stretching the lungs, okay? So that's the end of our stretching activity. Let me get my whiteboard and show you the breath wave. So the breath wave, let me show you what I mean by the breath wave. It's like a roller coaster wave. You go up and you come down. This is the inhale. This is that transition between inhale and then this is the exhale. And then it goes back to the inhale again, over and over and over, breath after breath after breath. So this is the inhale side, this is the exhale side, okay? That is the breath wave. Now, let me erase this and show you how we're gonna breathe with the breath wave, okay? Our first exercise is, so we have the inhale, is to make the exhale longer than the inhale, okay? So if this is time, right? Inhale, exhale for a very, 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 very long time, okay? When we exhale, I would like for you to use a pursed lip, like I was talking about earlier. A very small hole for you to release the air through. Don't push the air through. Let the air escape, okay? So with the breath wave, we're going to inhale and exhale. It's a wave, okay? We're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through pursed lips. Now you're going to notice that this side is longer than this side. We want the exhale to be longer than the inhale, and we're going to do that for 2 minutes. Rather than me giving you repetitions and us doing it together, all of us are going to have different thresholds for which we can do an exhale. So some of us will be shorter, some of us will be longer. But do it as long as you can comfortably do that exhale and then start over again. So here we go. You're not pushing the air out, you're just letting it leak out. Gently in through the nose, gently out through the mouth. On your next breath, if you can, try exhaling through the nose. Just making that exhale longer than the inhale was. That's your entire goal. If nose in, nose out is too difficult, go back to pursed lip. Feeling a calming sensation as you do those comfortable, longer exhales. Whatever length that exhale is. Let's do 2 more breaths wherever you're at. Okay, now we're going to change the pattern here, okay? With this exercise, the goal was really more towards relief. Relief of tension in the body, relief of pain in the back, and anywhere in the body, okay? By shifting you into a more parasympathetic state, with the exhales being longer than the inhales, slowing your rate of breathing, okay? With this pattern, okay, you may feel a bit of a different sensation, okay? So we're going to still use the breath wave, but you're going to notice that there's more of a trend, there's kind of a plateau here, and we're still going to do a long exhale. The exhale needs to be longer than the inhale is, but this period of time here is a hold. Now, holding, I don't mean bear down. I just mean a gentle, floating, easy hold, where you're holding the breath, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 counts. It's going to vary upon your comfort, but you're going to hold up here. Try a 1, 2, or a 3 count pause, and then again you're going to exhale. Now, you can use pursed lip. Okay, so let me show you how this will look. Okay, so you're going to inhale, hold, exhale. However long you can comfortably prolong that exhale. And then we're just going to keep that cycle going. We're going to do that for 2 minutes. Okay, if you can get a 2 or a 3 count pause and then prolong that exhale, that'd be great. If you can't do that, back off on how long you hold this. Maybe shorten the length of the exhale. The only rule here still is that this exhale be longer than the amount of time that you spent inhaling. Okay? So let's try that. 2 minutes of it. Here we go. In through the nose. Holding gently. And then exhaling. weak point. This creates panic or anxiety. Rest. Do 2 more breaths. Nice. So you may have felt a different sensation with this pattern than you did with the other pattern. That's very likely because of the hold that we did here, the breath hold, plus the elongated exhale that we had. And that relates to carbon dioxide. When we exhale, we are releasing carbon dioxide. When we are holding the breath, when we are doing long exhales, we're not letting it go as fast and as much, and so it rises in our bloodstream. And so our heart and our brain detect that, which plays into panic and anxiety and tension, okay? So the sensations that you felt with this pattern were probably different than the other one. The first pattern was probably a lot more relaxing than this pattern. This pattern is definitely working the breath. You're working your ventilatory system, but you're also working respiration. Respiration is a chemical process. Okay, so we've stretched, we've done the breath wave. Now we need to talk about mechanics before I give you your homework and get you out the door. You want to breathe in a more horizontal 360-degree expansion and narrowing pattern versus breathing up and down vertically, which is going to be fast and shallow. First thing, one hand up here, one hand kind of like at your sternum, not down here, but here, okay? All I want you to do is just breathe in and out gently. Just get started with that. As you are breathing, notice your hands. And you're just breathing comfortably, nothing big. Which one of those hands happens to move more than the other? Is it the upper hand? Or is it the lower hand? If your upper hand moves more or significantly, you're probably breathing in a vertical fashion. If your bottom hand is doing more of the breathing, then you are using some horizontal breathing. The other way that you can work on mechanics for your ventilation is to take a stretch band, and it really doesn't matter the strength of it. Okay, I like to keep it kind of wide so that I have more surface area, right? And then I give it a good tug so that it's pretty tight. And I do some slow inhales and slow exhales. If you're giving a good tug on the exhale, you'll feel the band really kind of do its elastic thing and narrow in. And then when you inhale, you'll feel how you kind of have to work hard against that band to take a breath in. How you're having to work against it moving horizontally. Okay? So, hands here and here, or using the band can be a nice way to kind of begin to observe, am I breathing in a up and down vertical fashion, or am I getting horizontal movement? I'll talk more about that in other weeks to come, but that's just a little smidge of mechanics of breathing. It's very difficult to teach, it's very difficult to sense, okay? But it's also very, very important to a good breath pattern and a breath work, all right? So for your homework, I mentioned that I was going to give you a teeny tiny bit of homework for you to try this week until we come back next week. All I want you to do, it's very, very simple, we've already done it, okay, is I want you to use the Breathwave. I want you to take 2 minutes out of your day or 10 breaths, whichever. And I want you to inhale through the nose. I want you to exhale either through the nose or through pursed lip. The only rule is that your exhale is longer than the inhale. And just do that for 2 minutes. All right? That's your homework. Once a day, 2 minutes a day, until we come back next week. Okay? If you guys have any questions or any comments, leave it in the comment section. I read them. All right? All right. I will see you next week for another Breathwork class. Have a great week.